Glory is as much about the mind as it is about the body.
Michael Mosley has been trying to understand how even the most focused athletes can still crack under the most extreme pressure.
Oh, yes.
For some sports stars, when victory is there for the taking, it can all go badly wrong. When top sports people perform badly under pressure, we often accuse them of bottling it. In the sporting world, this is also known as choking. This is former British table tennis champion Matthew Syed. He arrived at the 2000 Sydney Olympics as a genuine contender for a medal. But in his first match, things fell apart.
Tragically, this bizarre imposter who seems to be inhabiting my body and playing terrible table tennis and on what was one of the biggest matches, possibly the biggest match of my entire career. It was like I was trying to hit the ball in the right way and it just didn't feel normal. It felt stilted. Everything seemed to slow down.
Matthew slumped to an unexpected defeat, ending his chances of Olympic glory. Of course, it's not just elite athletes who choke. Most of us have had the experience of a disastrous job interview or some other situation where the pressure has got to us. So what exactly is going on when we choke and what can we do about it? I've come to a training centre for gymnasts in Livingston, West Lothian. Dr. Malcolm Fairweather from the Scottish Institute of Sport is going to make me choke. First, he has to test me at something I'm expert in. Unfortunately, there are absolutely no sports that I'm expert at. So they've suggested instead I do something which I should be pretty good at: walking. If only it was that simple. I've got to walk at height to create a high pressure situation. It starts off nice and easy, walking along a line on the ground. But then I moved to higher bars. As the bar got higher, my walking got worse. I regressed to walking almost like a toddler.
We saw a reduction in your stride. That's mainly caused by a change in the range of motion about your hip. And in the highest beam situation, we found you were taking more time for each stride, even though it was a very much shorter stride. You displayed the changes from an expert to a novice walker.
You can see why my performance suffered when you look at brain scans. These show which parts of our brain are active when we perform a task.
What we see on the screen to the left here is the frontal areas of the brain being active. And this would occur when we're learning a task.
The learning is taking place roughly where the green areas are.
Yeah. As we become more accomplished through practice and experience, the idea is that the deeper areas in the brain become more active and help us to provide a more automatic experience of the skill to the extent that we can almost perform unconsciously.
In some athletes, the pressures of competition trigger the reverse of normal learning pathways. Well-practiced actions go from automatic memory back to the parts of the brain which first learnt the skill. Expert movements are replaced with those of a novice.
When we choke, we think that there's a change in that balance of activity. It's almost like going back to learning the skill for the first time.
Right.
We're now thinking about the bits that make up the whole of the skill and being distracted from the goal of the task.
Choking can undermine years of dedicated hard work. So what sports psychologists attempt to do is identify the triggers that lead to a choke and then see what they can do to prevent them. Psychologist Dr. Christine Dunn works with athletes to ensure they're primed for pressure.
So what I'm trying to do is to get them to go back to, this is what I do in training all the time, this is what I've done in competitions, in previous situations, I know what to do, I don't need to think about it, I don't need to make all these judgments and conscious processes, I just need to get on with it and do it.
No. So a lot of those famous misses can be put down to a switch in how our brains process information. With proper psychological preparation, that can be avoided. The trick is to perform as if it means nothing, when it actually means everything.
Of
Good
course
tip.
it does, yeah. Thanks, Michael, as well.